Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Julie and today we are doing a thrift flip video where I take items that I've thrifted. A lot of them you will probably recognize from my recent thrift haul videos, and I upcycle them to something that is more my style. So let's go ahead and get started on these fun projects.
Whenever I find pencil holders or little blocks of wood with lots of holes in it, I always pick it up because it really makes a very unique piece of home decor. This is the first time I found a pencil holder in this shape and someone has painted something on it, so I just want to make sure to sand it flat. That way all that raised paint does not show through. Then I took it outside and sprayed it with my paint gun. I always paint the bottoms of pieces first and then turn it over and paint the top. I have Rust-Oleum chalk paint in the color linen in my spray gun. Once my paint is dry, I'm just going to take my sanding block and distress the edges. I felt like this piece needed something on the front and in the middle where they have no holes. So I decided to take my transfer that I used in my last thrift flip video. I still have a lot left of this. So I cut out two small pieces. I wanted words on the front, and then in the middle, I wanted to put a little piece of floral. So I just looked through the transfer, picked out the ones that would fit in that little size that I had, and I cut them to size. Then I placed the image onto my piece, and using the little tool that comes with your IOD transfer, you just rub it over and it transfers your image onto your piece. So if you purchase an IOD transfer, don't feel like you need to use the whole entire thing in one project. I mainly work with smalls, so I'm able to use a transfer on lots of different projects. On this piece, I only use two tiny images from this transfer, and I really think it made this little pencil holder look so much cuter. Once your transfer is on, you can even sand it. I like to sand my transfers because I feel like it just makes it look like it has always been on the piece instead of something that is just sitting on top of the piece. But this is personal preference. You do not have to sand your transfers. I like to turn these pencil holders into floral holders, and I think it's just such a unique piece of home decor, and you can change out your florals for the seasons. Did y'all have any clue that this pencil holder was going to turn out so cute? Whenever you see lamps at thrift stores or garage sales, always look for shape, because you can transform a lamp into something else just using the base. They are very easy to take apart. You just cut the cord off, and then usually you have to unscrew the top or the bottom, and once it's unscrewed, all the pieces just come right out. This one does have the rod attached to the top, but that's okay. We're going to leave that. And then where the hole where the electrical was, I'm just going to patch that with a little bit of IOD air dry clay. Then I took it outside and sprayed it with my paint gun. I am using the same Rust-Oleum chalk paint that I used on the pencil holder. This lamp had lots of texture, so I thought I would use the antiquing wax to kind of bring out all the details, but I just didn't like the way it turned out. I really wanted the piece to be white, and the antiquing wax was just turning it way too brown. So I just want to let y'all know it's okay to have a plan, execute that plan, and if it doesn't come out the way that you want, it's just paint. So I just brought it outside. I did not like the antiquing wax finish on it, and I just sprayed it again with my paint sprayer. To finish off this piece, I'm just going to add this basket that I thrifted. It already has a hole in it, the perfect size it's meant to be. I am not going to glue it or anything. I'm just going to screw it on. That way, if later on I want to put something different on the top, I can easily change it out. The combination of the white base and this natural basket top is definitely my style. I feel like the base had enough texture and detail in itself that I didn't need to add more colors to it. I love the way it came out, and it will be easy to change out for the seasons. Anytime I find little figurines or cute little animals at the thrift store or at garage sales, I always pick them up. It is so easy to update them and transform them into a beautiful piece of home decor. We are going to do a faux cement look on this rabbit. My go-to paint for this technique is the Waverly chalk paint in the color Mineral. I'm going to put 2 coats on this rabbit and then let the paint dry. Then we're going to apply a white wax to the piece. You can use whatever brand you like. This is actually a clear wax that I ordered from Amazon, and then I add a little bit of white paint to it. That way I can get the perfect shade of white that I prefer. So just keep that in mind, that you can create your own wax by simply mixing whatever color you want with a clear wax. So I'm simply just going to brush on the white wax, and then I'm going to tape a paper towel and wipe it off. Now, if you are worried about removing the layer of gray chalk paint that we already put on there, between these steps, you can put a sealer on it. I like to use the Rust-Oleum clear coat in the spray can because it's just quick and easy. It is that simple to transform this piece. So look around your house, look at thrift stores, be on the lookout at garage sales for these cute little figurines so you can take them home and do this little painting technique on them. This is another lamp that I picked up at the thrift store. This one is wood and reminds me of a big spindle. To take this one apart, I actually had to unscrew the bottom of this one instead of the top. So again, you just want to cut the cord and then unscrew it, and then the whole thing will come apart. I want to keep the metal base on it, so I'm actually just going to glue it back together, and I'm just going to use Gorilla Glue, put it on the metal base, and then attach the wood spindle to it, and then you just want to let it dry before you move on to the next step. I decided to paint this one in the color Celery. It's a Waverly chalk paint color, and if you are very into the cottage look, the French country look, this color is absolutely perfect for that type of decor. And you can see how good it covers. So I'm going to cover the wood and the metal with this chalk paint. It ended up taking 2 coats of paint. I like to lay stuff down so y'all can see what I'm doing on camera, but in real life I like to paint on a Lazy Susan. It makes it go so much faster, and then you can keep it on there and move it out of the way so you can work on your next piece. So if you're out and about and you see Lazy Susans, definitely pick them up. They are very useful for crafting. Look how pretty this color is after it's fully dry. Now we're going to really French country it up and add some white wax. So just like we did before, you simply apply the white wax and then you take your napkin and you wipe it off. And again, if you're worried about your chalk paint coming off, you can always spray it with a clear coat before you apply your white wax. I also want to add a basket to the top of this lampshade. We're going to go with this shallow basket, and I want to add a little bit of white wax to it just to tie into the bottom and lighten it up. It has a little bit of an orangish hue, but instead of adding a lot of wax and then wiping it off, I'm going to do more of a dry brushing technique where I just put a little bit of white wax on my brush and just go over the basket. And if you end up putting a little bit too much, you can always just go and wipe it off. This is a great way to update baskets that you don't necessarily love the color of them. You could add some white wax or you can add some dark wax, and it really transforms and updates the basket. You can see here how the white wax really transformed the piece. I left the original color at the bottom so you could really see the difference here. Now to attach the 2 pieces, I'm just going to use a little bit of hot glue on the basket. Then I'm going to put the lamp on top of it and let it dry. I feel like I could have went in so many different directions with this lamp, but I really want to show y'all different ideas, different colors, different things that you could do. So please let me know. Do you love this French country look, the combination of this green color, the white wax, and the basket? Or would you have done something differently with this piece? I have this small hallway in my home that has lots of doors, so I really want to make some signs to put over the doors. I'm going to use a piece of fencing. This is my go-to for making signs, and it's also the perfect size to put over a door. So I've already went on my computer and printed out all the words. My printer only prints out 8.5 by 11 paper, so when I need something longer than that, I'll just print it out on different sheets of paper and then cut it and tape it together. Once all my words are cut out and taped together, I'm going to put them on the piece of wood and figure out exactly how long I want each piece of wood to be to go with that particular word. And then I like to write the measurements on my paper and keep these paper. That way, if I get an order for a pantry sign, it's already done. I don't need to figure out the size again. I just take my word and I can go make this sign again. These signs are going to be for me, and when I make signs for my home, I like to use my wall color, which is Sherwin-Williams White Duck. I like using my wall color because I want to create signs, but I don't want them to stand out too much. I just want them to be pretty and to be there, but not compete with everything else that is going on. I also don't distress them. I feel like the texture of the wood is enough and I don't need to add anything else to it. This is just my personal preference for the decor in my home. I want to frame out all the signs. So to do this, I'm going to be cutting down the pieces of fencing, the same wood that I used to create the signs, and I'm just going to cut 1-inch strips. To me, that is the perfect size to frame out this particular wood. To cut down the wood, I'm using my new Ryobi saw that I just purchased on Amazon. We just ended up buying a new one for this house because our other table saw was just too big and heavy to move, and I am really loving it. It works great and it folds up flat, which is perfect if you have a shop in the garage. That way I could fold it up and move it out of the way when I don't need it. I want my frames to have an aged look, so to do this, I'm just going to use a Waverly Antiquing wax and water mixture. I keep mine in a mason jar because I use it all the time. You just simply apply it onto new wood, old wood, just something that you want to look more aged, and you can see how it really transforms this brand new wood. I'm going to do this first, that way my frames have time to dry while I go finish up my signs. To create my sign, I'm just going to take my word that I printed out and some carbon paper, and I'm just going to trace over the letters. I normally use a pencil, but the last time I ordered this carbon paper on Amazon, it came with some little embossing tools, and these also work really great. So just whatever you have, it works fine. And all it does is it transfers the outline onto the wood so you have something to work with. Now I'm going to take my Sharpie paint pen and start painting in the letters. This is also something I just ordered off of Amazon. I prefer the water-based Sharpie. It has a matte finish. They have the oil-based Sharpie, and that one has a little bit more of a glossy finish. So it's just whatever look you are going for. Also, the oil-based ones are really great if you're going to be doing an outdoor sign. I would highly recommend using the oil-based Sharpie markers. But like I said, I prefer the matte look of the water-based markers on my indoor signs. So I looked at my timestamp on my camera after I finished filming this, and it took me less than 7 minutes to trace out and paint in the sign. So it is really quick once you get used of this process. And I also find it very relaxing. Now I'm ready to add a frame to my signs. So I'm just going to measure out each piece individually and go cut it on my miter saw. I prefer to do it this way. That way I know my measurements are accurate, just doing one piece at a time. And once the piece is cut, I'm going to use my nail gun and just nail it into place. I prefer to only put one nail in at a time as well. That way, if I mess anything up, it's a lot easier to take it apart and fix it. And once all of my frame pieces are in place, I will add some more nails in to secure it. I also prefer to put my top and bottom pieces in first, and then I do the side pieces last. Any pieces that I cut that you can now see the natural wood, I'm just going to touch it up with my Waverly Antiquing wax and it'll blend right in. And then to hang this sign, all I do is I find the middle of the back and just attach a sawtooth hanger. These signs came out exactly how I wanted, and they definitely add a lot of character to this little hallway. And best of all, they were free because I just used all the materials I already had.
I hope y'all enjoyed today's video. Please leave a comment below and let me know what was your favorite project that I worked on. And if you love these types of videos, make sure you subscribe to my channel. I do these sorts of videos every single week, and I have a huge playlist with over 40 videos just like this one. I'll leave a link to that playlist in the description below. Y'all have a wonderful day, and I will see y'all in the next video.